energy that you guys were trying to generate in the last game kind of came out tonight, the defensive effort, holding them to 96 points up until they cleared the bench. Just what was your messaging over these last couple of days to get that out of them?
I think that's, as you guys know, that's something we've tried to talk a lot about, trying to defend, and you have to have energy in order to do that. It was good to see us bounce back, and we had a little trouble in the first half, missing some rotations, which they were able to get some threes after we had a pretty good lead, gave it back pretty quick. But I thought we really kept our composure and continued to defend throughout the course of the game.
And Garrison, of course, had 7 threes tonight, missed only 1 shot. He's one of those guys that's always seeming to be ready. What have you appreciated about Garrison this season?
Well, I mean, just that. I think it's unique to have a player that played well. Early part of the year, did a lot of good things, shot the ball, played defense, and to not play for however many games. And it's easy for us to say stay ready, but clearly, and it's not. I mean, you're not surprised when he makes that many threes because you really believe in him. But it's obviously, that doesn't usually happen, and particularly for that to be the case after he'd been out for a significant period of time. So it's a credit to him. And really the work that he continues to put in, whether he's playing or not, he was ready.
Coach, just capitalizing on that Garrison question, what are some of the ways that he has been able to stay ready? In the post-game, you kind of mentioned extra shooting.
Yeah.
Just what are some of the things you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, I think, being dialed in on the game plan, whether you're playing or not, as far as keeping your mind ready, because, again, you don't know when that moment's going to come. And again, what he said as far as just continuing to get his shots up, at game speed too. Like really working in those situations where you're getting a good lather and you're simulating, the intensity of the game to the best you can. Coaches have done a great job with him too. So a few guys you'll have to ask who's the best defender that he goes with on the coaching staff. I'm not sure.
Coach, you talked about it last game, pregame today, about how spacing kind of limits turnovers and things of that sort. When you have Trey, 29 points, and we have Garrison knocking down threes, just how big is that?
Yeah, I thought, particularly in transition, that we really got out. The floor was open, so those guys were able to attack. And I thought Trey, there's games when people playing for the pass, and he was aggressive, for a number of times, and that was something that I think he knew he needed to be when he plays against a shot blocker like that, like Rudy. I think in general for our team, this is one of the best jobs we've done, really playing with our eyes out and looking for each other when there's guys open on the perimeter. It's something that we've talked a lot about, and we need to continue to improve on. We need to continue for those passes to be on target, but I liked what I saw with that.
Can you comment on the job Dyson did against Anthony Edwards and what you saw in that matchup?
Anthony Edwards is a great player, and I think Dyson is always wanting and willing to take a challenge. I thought what he did off the ball as well, when he was guarding Edwards, and then sometimes in help situations where he was able to come up with loose balls. Obviously, he came up with a few of them with that many steals, but you don't take it for granted. But on some level, there's an expectation there that he's going to do that because he does it consistently.
Coach, I want to talk about specifically that first quarter. You all were 24-9, I believe, at some point in time, only giving them 19 points in that first quarter. Talk about just the aggressiveness of your defense in that first quarter, what you liked.
Well, I mean, I thought we executed well as far as the game plan. As I said, which involves 5 guys working together, both in a pick and roll situation, 2 guys on the ball. But I thought we were in the right place in help situations. And when you do that, you kind of fall into turnovers at times. You may not be trying to make a play on the ball, but you're in a position and you do make a play.
Coach, when it comes to the interior passing, do you think that some of that is because the guys are a little bit more unselfish when they're going in there? Because sometimes it seems like, they have a layup and then they pass and give it to them.
Those layups, if you play real time against Rudy Gobert, what sometimes looks like a layup is a little tougher to finish. And so I think more than anything, us, to be specific about it, being under control when we get in there so we can actually make a good decision. And they're collapsed. Those passes are tough to make, and that's where we talked about, getting our eyes out and finding people, whether they're behind you, cross court, wherever they are. And the guys that are spacing like that have to stay in the ball handler's vision so that they can make those passes. But, that's something we look at a lot, the interior passes, and we're like second in the league on the wrong side of that. So I love our unselfishness, but again, it's not just the guy making the pass. Sometimes you get hung out a little bit, and that becomes a way to solve it late. And again, it's just something we got to continue to work on. I thought we were much better tonight in those situations.
Coach, you briefly mentioned it in your answer to Lauren, but just the perimeter defense, they made 8 threes in that second quarter, and then they only hit 3 of 18 in the second half. So what happened between that second quarter and the third quarter, essentially, to get there?
Yeah, I think a few things, when you have any breakdown on the ball, whether it's allowing Julius Randle to get to the middle of the floor, and you're over-helping, if we do miss a rotation, we kind of had all those things happen during that stretch where they were getting open looks, and they're obviously a really good three-point shooting team. So cleaning some of that stuff up, where we're not putting ourselves in a tough position, early in the possession where somebody's getting to the rim and we've got to come over to help, and then we're playing on our heels the whole possession.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay. Yes. Anybody?